Okay, so I was in two of the bigger city areas in the Fukuoka mission. I was never in Inaka, which is the country area. So the first city that I was in is Taniyama, or Kagoshima, is the city that Taniyama is a part of. And it is huge. There's tons of people. There's lots of attractions. There's this one mall that we would go to on our P day a lot that was like a 10-story mall with a Ferris wheel on the top of it. And it was crazy and it was so cool. And we would go there and they had tabe hodais, which is like all you can eat buffets there of Japanese food and just all kinds of food, and it's really good. So that was always fun. But the biggest part about Kagoshima is it's right next to one of the world's most active volcanoes. It's called Mount Sakurajima, and it erupted several times every day. And it would rain ash on us, and like we would go out and start working in the afternoon and our bikes would be covered in ash and we have to like sweep the ash off of it so we don't get dirty. I would get ash in my eye a lot because we're riding bikes and the ash just flies because it falls on you, and then when cars drive by it like kicks all the ash up again. So you get ash in your eye, but it was always kind of fun, and it's kind of cool to say like, oh yeah, I live next to a volcano. And it had been 100 years since the real last like big, huge, like lots of people die kind of eruption. But while I was there, it erupted fairly large for the first time in a while. And actually on the other side of the mountain of the volcano from us, they had lava flow for like 3/4 of a mile. So that was really cool. But for one P-Day, we actually went to Sakurajima because it's kind of in the middle of this bay. So we took a ferry and we rode the ferry across the bay to the volcano, and people live there. They like live on it, and there's an elementary school, and I was always kind of like, who was the person that was like, I want to live right there, like that is the place I want to be. I have no clue who that person was, but they have like they had a park that we went to that has like dinosaur figurines that you could crawl all over, and like a really tall slide that you can go down, and just fun stuff like that. So we went there as a zone, just messed around and played with things, but that was a really cool place to be. Another place that I loved it was actually this one night, I was with my trainer, and then we had another companion at the time, and the three of us were working, and we tracked into this lady who she was celebrating. It was a Buddhist holiday this entire week. It was called Udon. No, it's not. I always call it that. I think it's Ubon. There we go. Udon is a noodle, and I always get it mixed up. But it's called Ubon, and it's like a Buddhist holiday when they celebrate like the spirits of their ancestors coming back and kind of visiting them for the week. And we ran into this lady outside, and we got to talking to her, and she invited us, and she's like, I want to go to this place. Will you go with me? And so we met her in like in an hour. It was about 8 o'clock at night, so we only had a little bit of time before we had to make curfew. But we got in our car and we drove to this place. It's called the Marine Port. And it's just this little outcropping of land into the bay area. And there's just really pretty vegetation on it, and there's like a path that takes you around it, and then there's like a stair area, and then it walks you down right to a wall, and right on the other side of the wall is just the ocean. And it's really close, and it was nighttime, so there were only like a couple of street lamps, and you could look up in the stars, and it was beautiful, and the ocean was right there, and I'm like addicted to the ocean, so I loved it. And you could just lean over the wall and just realize that like there's all kinds of just marine life and things all around you. It's just beautiful and peaceful. And in the daytime, like that's where you can go and see dolphins just jumping in things. So it was beautiful, and I loved not only that place, because that place is a really good touristy kind of location, even in the daytime, but going at night and like the peacefulness that came from it. Was only like the four of us that were there, and it was just beautiful. And then my other area was Nagamine, or Kumamoto, which is the other big city. And Kumamoto is just huge, and it's great. And they have this kind of downtown area that we went to a festival. There was a festival going on. We went and visited that area for it. But one of the coolest parts about Kumamoto is the castle. So there's a castle in Kumamoto, and it's like old-fashioned, like couple century, quite a few centuries back. This castle was built, and it was like a huge part of the feudal system in Japan, like several centuries ago. And it had burned down a couple of times, but they rebuilt it. And you could walk around the grounds, like you could go up into the towers of the castle, and the architecture is beautiful, and it's just so cool. And it just has an interesting feel to it, and like realizing all of the history that was centered in that place. Plus, whenever I'm in a castle, I'm like, I could live in a castle. I could totally fit here. But but it was just fun to be there, and it was a cool way to spend a P day. I really liked that.